Okay, Cham, you can go.
Mr. Kodri, you've just come out of court where the verdict has been given in your case. First, let's start with how did the verdict go?
Unfortunately, at Canifing Court, they have too few judges, so the whole process has taken 14 months to come to the judgment, during which time we've had 3 different magistrates. I appreciate the difficulty the last magistrate has had in trying to find out what happened in the court cases previous, and to my opinion she has not fully understood the beginning of the case and the progress of the case, only on the plaintiff's account towards the end of the case. So I appreciate the difficulties of trying to get a court to operate on too few magistrates. However, that can lead to injustices and can lead to confused judgments.
Exactly what happened today?
The judge points out it's a point of contract between myself and a local Gambian businessman, but seemed to appear to think that it's up to the it's up to the defendant to prove the fact that there wasn't a contract, whereas I think the point of law is it's up to the plaintiff to prove there was a contract. There's no written documents, there's no signatures. Even the witnesses that the plaintiff brought agreed there was no witness, no documents, that I was a friend, I wasn't a business associate. Yet she seems to have appeared to believe that there was some form of contract.
And now, what did the magistrate give now? This ruling, what was the ruling, exact ruling?
The ruling was that even though my passport has been taken by Canifing Court, that she considers it was my choice to stay here in the Gambia. Therefore, any counterclaim I have against the plaintiff is null and void. The plaintiff did not prove the costs that he was expecting, and therefore she's made a compromise of 30,000 plus court costs. So I have to pay the plaintiff 30,000 dalasi.
And that's the end of the game. Will you get your documents back?
If I agree with the ruling, because...
To pay $30,000.
Correct.
Which is about how many pounds?
It's about 400 pounds, yep.
So if you agree to pay 400 pounds, then you can get your traveling documents. So.
Correct, yep. And I think I have about a week
to decide that. In your opinion, is this justice, or you think this is injustice?
I think it's a compromise between a difficult position that the judge found herself in and trying to find a way that didn't cause too many offences to too many people, which I do appreciate, but it's not necessarily justice.
At the end of it, the whole trial and tribulations, Mr. Debre, how would you reflect on it? How do you feel?
I think from the beginning it was a clear case of entrapment. It should have been dismissed the first time I entered the court. However, the court seems to have wanted to go in great detail into matters that in fact were unsubstantiated.
Finally, running back, let me ask you now, what exactly had happened between you and the Gambian businessman?
I came on a holiday, and because my wife died here in the Gambia, instead of spending money on her grave, I decided to give a donation to a local handicap school. The plaintiff was a friend of the directress and thought, here's an opportunity. This man obviously has so much money, he's giving it away to handicap. Please give it to me. So he came to my hotel daily, persuaded me that the hotel costs were excessive. Please come and stay with me. The first day he took me to visit a local Gambian handicapped boy, and he was in desperate case. So I had sympathies. He then took me to his tourist accommodation, suggested to me it would be a good idea for somewhere to provide at least a couple of meals per day for the handicapped. I agreed completely, but said I could not afford, as a pensioner working on minimum wage in England, to do more than help him. For that purposes, I gave him some money, 26,000 dalassis, to do the main handicapped toilets, ramps, and safety, fire, electrical safety. I discovered that he'd only painted, so as far as I was concerned, that was lost money, but I was no longer prepared to help him in any further improvements on his hotel so he could sell it at a profit. Unfortunately, he had an indictment which he produced within 24 hours, signed by a magistrate, that led to my being put in a police holding cell and kept in the Gambia for more than 14 months, which I find excessive.
Allegedly because he said you breached a contract.
Allegedly because he said there was a contract, and allegedly because he thought that he was owed very substantial amounts of money.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. One more question, do you intend to stay in the Gambia even after you have paid this fine and got your passport back?
I'll have to think about that. I love the Gambia. I love the welcome and the openness of the people, but obviously...
So would you say this is just an isolated bad experience?
Isolated bad experience. 1 in 1,000, but I happen to be the 1 in 1,000. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, sir.